In this lesson, we'll be talking about creating dependent lookup lists in GoldMine. We're going to be using the Opportunity Management Center. However, the lessons applied can also be applicable for other lookup lists in GoldMine. From the activities to contact records, pretty much anywhere you'll find a lookup list in GoldMine, you'll be able to create a dependent lookup list. Okay, so let's get started. Let's go ahead and create a new opportunity record. Click New, New Opportunity, and we're not going to use the Opportunity Wizard, so we'll click No. And we'll go ahead and create an opportunity here for Steve Ballmer at Microsoft Corporation. Clicking OK. So now, let's go ahead and look at what we have here. So we've got let's go ahead and just create a sample opportunity. Sample opportunity to sell service. Now, we want to, we have two different codes here. We've got this furniture and supplies, and we also have this stage field here, where we've got a number of different stages, but they're really applicable to two different divisions within the organization. One being furniture and the other being supplies. So you can see here that this lookup list is jumbled with a number of different entries that are really only applicable for different orders. So you can see here that we want it to be dependent on this code field here. So we can say a order is or an opportunity will be relevant for the furniture division or the supplies division. So let's go ahead and select supplies. But you can see here that our default configuration of our lookup list, while it does have all the entries you want in there, they're all kind of jumbled together and they're not very useful. It makes it more difficult for end users to determine which ones they actually need to use. So let's go ahead and fix this. So what we need to do first is to click the Setup button here. And we can see that we have our field name already populated for the opportunity stage. And if you don't have it populated, go ahead and populate it now. You can call it anything you want, but op stage makes the most sense to me anyway. Now you can see if we look down below, the item that we're looking for is down here, this context-dependent F2 lookup list. So lookup list depends on another field. That's in the case here, we want the lookup list for the stage to be dependent on the value that's stored in the code field. We could also make it dependent on one of the contact one fields, but in this case it's not all that relevant. So we're going to use one of the Opportunity Project Manager fields. Now, one tricky thing here is that you do need to know some of the values here, and you can do it, but in this case I'll tell you right now that the cycle field actually corresponds to the code field here. So we're going to choose the cycle field. And that's, like I said, that's what this code field actually is underneath the surface. So we'll go ahead and click OK. And now you can see that our lookup list has changed slightly. So we've got this extra column here for the field entries. And if it doesn't make a difference here, we can click Show All or Not Show All, and it doesn't really change the lookup list here at all. But now what we want is you want to associate each of these values to be linked to a particular value of the code. So if this, from this first example here, furniture RFQ has been received, we want that to only appear if the code is a furniture code, so the FUR. So we'll go ahead and click on the Edit button. And you can see here that we've got this value already in here. And we want this to only be valid when the cycle contains That's actually not going to be in our lookup list here, but we'll go ahead and put it in. Furniture. So we'll go ahead and click OK, and we're going to repeat this for the other furniture items as well. So we'll type in furniture and click OK, and furniture again for this entry. Click OK. Now you can see that as I'm doing that, the list is getting smaller, but they're not actually disappearing. So if I go ahead and click Show All, it's actually going to show us all of those entries again. We can see all those in here. Now we're going to do the same thing, but this time we're going to do it for the supplies entry. So we'll go ahead and click on each of the supplies. So click on the Edit for that one. And we don't want it to say FUR, we want it to say SUP for that, for the code there. So we'll go ahead and click OK. Likewise, we'll do it for this one. SUP. Do it for each of these. And one last one here. So we'll go ahead and click OK. Now if we uncheck Show All, the only ones that are going to be showing up here are the ones that actually correspond to the code field here. So we'll go ahead and select that one, but now you can see our lookup list here does indeed correspond to just the entries that are relevant for the supplies division. Now if I change this value here to furniture, you can now see that my lookup list will change to show only the relevant entries for furniture, the furniture division users. And that concludes today's lesson in regards to creating dependent lookup lists. Now, as I mentioned, you can use these same techniques for any field or any lookup values in GoldMine. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.